Let's see. Let me make sure. Let's get Twitter. Let me just make sure I've got everything. You know what? Let me share that tab I was telling you about.
I've got brown gravy in here with peppers and onions on a steak.
Can you shut the fuck up, you asshole? You son of a fucking bitch.
You brag about how you can eat out all the time, so
I'm fucking, hungry here.
When are you not?
Oh no, I haven't eaten here. What do I? Here we go. Okay, presents.
I feel like there's something about streams that just gets you hungry.
I just woke up late, so. Oh, hold on.
Take your time, dude. It's okay.
Hold on. VoiceOver's acting up. Hold on.
It always does.
Yeah. I'm just trying to give people a time to, get in here and. Hold on. Why won't it go to my? Here we go. How do I clear all notifications?
Dude, this is gonna be fucking amazing.
This thing's gonna fucking kill me because I've got.
It's gonna hit different.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about my computer because I'm trying to share the screen. And it basically my disk ejected too many times.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said.
Yeah. So I need to. All right.
Let's do this, bro.
All right. Welcome everybody to a live stream. We have not done a live stream on this channel in over a year. It's been a very long time since I did one. We've got a friend of the show. He's been on the show once before, maybe a couple times. He's eating a steak, a medium rare steak with baked potato and a salad. You son of a bitch. I've got soda. That's what I'm eating, a soda, drinking.
Soda, he likes it.
I like your soda. Anyway, not the channel we should do burp compilations on, but okay.
Like that one was like one for the road.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Do I sound close or do I
yes,
sound
no, you're good. You sound just fine.
How do I sound here? Do I sound the same as I do here or different?
A little bit faded, but that's because you're further back.
Okay, so how about here?
You're good.
Okay.
Can hear loud and clear.
Right. So, welcome everybody to this stream. It's Get the Memo. We are live here to honor a legend, an amazing political activist. A guy who really exemplified what it meant to be passionate about what you do and passionate about what you believe in. But we'll talk about him. He is, before we begin, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to Get the Memo. Press the post notification bell. We got some more videos coming out. We've been out for a while, but we're getting Oscar's morning news back. And we're not on TikTok because I'm afraid to get banned on there. We are on Rumble. I'll get that link later. And so
it's not even about politics. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because a lot of, and you guys are gonna see this as we go along, but a lot of the stuff that he preaches, a lot of the stuff that he says, it's about being a good human.
Yeah,
it's about being a good person.
Yeah. So be sure to like us, subscribe, share with your friends and family. We're just waiting for people to come in a little bit, but we'll get started. Charlie Kirk was one of the most influential MAGA figures in the country. He was as high profile as it gets outside of the MAGA staff, of the president's staff. And I didn't agree with him on everything, but that's what America is. We're supposed to disagree. If everyone agreed, it would be boring. But he was a 31-year-old. He is as old as my big brother. He was actually going to be 32. He was born in 1995. And he, no, wait a minute. No, he was born 1993, I think. So he was born 93, 94. It's 95. He was 2 or whatever. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children, Erica, and their daughter, and I think son. Do you know if he has 2 sons? It's his daughter and son. So he had his girl, he had his boy. And he was the co-founder of and CEO of Turning Point USA, a political organization that sought to expand the MAGA movement and the conservative and Christian movement. He started that when he was just 18 years old. In his early 20s, he was running with Trump in the presidential campaign. I don't know how he got that lucky, but he did. And he became one of the most consequential and controversial political activists in the world, and especially in the United States. He was very close to the president. He was very, very, very intelligent. We're going to show you some college scam videos that he talks in, and it's pretty serious how intelligent, how crazy his intelligence was. Yeah, Aaron, I think you saw the videos I sent you. So we're gonna cover those, and he just had that knack for doing that. So we're gonna talk about it. He was shot and killed on Wednesday, September 10th at 12:20 p.m. at Utah Valley University, UVU, doing a debate. What he would do was he would go and he would talk to people that he vehemently disagreed with and wanted you to change his mind. Okay, go ahead and change my mind. You probably never would because he was super, stern in his beliefs and stuck in his beliefs, but he would at least talk to you. So he would at least engage with you and make sure that he would listen to your ideas, question your ideas, and not to be rude, but he was very kind to people. And he didn't deserve what happened to him. So the suspect is Tyler Robinson. Now, first, what we're going to do is we're going to show you what is it? Basically a thing that was unleashed, basically released as basically it was who was the person. They were showing the images, the news, all that. Let's go ahead and get into this. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
This is the person of interest in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He's apparently attempting to hide his identity under a baseball cap and dark glasses. His shirt emblazoned with the stars and stripes and the slogan, "Land of the Free, Home of the Brave."
That individual appears to be of college age.
Now, I want to just say, land of the free, home of the brave. So if we're the land of the free, why'd you shoot him? All right.
Again, good point.
We are confident in our abilities to track that individual.
Go, run! According to reports, his motive appears to be political, since bullets were found engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology. And as the hunt for him intensifies, we're getting a clearer picture of his murderous act. 11:52 a.m. The suspected shooter shows up on campus at Utah Valley University and climbs to the roof of the Losi Student Center.
So there's somebody on the roof right there?
He was videotaped on the roof, lying in wait like a sniper, with a clear line of sight to where Charlie Kirk's tent was set up. 12:15 p.m. Charlie Kirk arrives and tosses hats to the crowd. 12:20, a shot rings out. The conservative activist slumps in his seat and collapses to the ground. Rebecca Hales was 30 feet away and shot this video as she dove for cover.
I was in shock, but I got down. I was with 3 other friends. They disappeared, and then I was getting trampled as we tried to run out.
His bodyguards rushed to help him, desperately trying to revive him, but he was hopeless.
There's literally nothing that can be done in that situation. That was a fatal wound. And I don't care if there was a trauma surgeon at the end of the steps there on the stage. There's very little chance that anybody would have been able to do anything to save his life at that point.
As the crowd flees in panic, Kirk is carried away by his team and rushed to the hospital in an SUV. Stop! This video apparently shows the shooter fleeing across the roof.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
The FBI and local law enforcement are still on the ground today, still searching the neighborhood where the assassin was last seen. He ran through here and into these woods where he dumped the murder weapon, later found by police. It's an older model 30-06 high-powered bolt-action hunting rifle.
It wasn't any, no fancy equipment, no fancy tech or anything like that. Very basic, what your average shooter or hunter would use during hunting season shooting deer.
Today, there's anger at the lack of security. Just 6 local police officers and Kirk's small private bodyguard detail. Jeremy and Amy King were in the front row, 15 feet away.
I was actually telling him, where's all the security? Because they didn't scan my ticket. He had his security, but I didn't see any other security. It was just his bodyguards.
But Kirk's close friend, fellow firebrand Steve Bannon, says that's the way he wanted it.
He knew about the security too, because he says, hey, I can't get too much security because it cuts me off from the young people. It cuts me off from the crowd.
Checkmate to Steve Bannon, who said security. He said security.
Yeah, well, it's funny.
Can I play that back? Hold on, I want to see.
About the security too, because he says, hey, I can't get too much security because it.
Security. Security.
Close friend, fellow firebrand Steve Bannon, says
I
that's
just have
the
to
way
play
he
it over
wanted
again.
it.
He knew about the security too, because he says, hey, I can't get too much security because it cuts me off from
We're talking about somebody who's well-spoken. That clearly was not well-spoken.
That was not security.
That man didn't get no security. Jesus.
That was so fun. Oh, one more time.
His friend, fellow firebrand Steve Bannon, says that's the way he wanted it.
He knew about the security too, because he says, hey, I can't get too much security because it cuts me off from the.
Dang, it's so funny, bro.
Oh my god!
It really is. It's so funny.
It's so funny. Oh Lord, that was funny. That now, okay. Now that we're done, okay.
Nice job, man. That was good.
All right. So, what's your thought here? I mean,
Well,
obviously,
first
we know
of all,
who the suspect is. We know who it is, but just from that video.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this. I think it is very amiable that he wanted less security because he wanted to help more people. This is proof of his altruism in a way, because he wanted to be, I think, I'm not saying that he expected this to happen necessarily, but if this is the way he was in every visit that he had and every debate that he had, then he knew straight up, he knew that this was always a risk. And he knew that he would become a martyr if it happened. And it did.
Yeah, and you know, he never really had that much security. You know, yeah, he had security, but for the crowd, and I understand what he was saying, but I would want to protect the crowd, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be thinking of myself. I would be thinking of the crowd.
Yeah.
But people also need to understand. Now, Turning Point USA is $100 million organization, right? Like they're worth over $100 million. I think $300 million, something like that. They could have afforded snipers on the roof at every building and every place on the university campus. But why? I think Charlie Kirk argued one time, why spend that money when I could spend that money expanding our movement? You know, I think that's the way he saw it.
That was his priority. And I mean, and I think, of course, Mr. Young Robinson, I think his motive in all of it was to kill that movement. In reality, he did the exact opposite.
And yeah, exactly. And I don't know if maybe because on the bullets, it showed, hey, fascist, catch. And
yeah,
it's so funny that they call him a fascist, but no one can ever say what made him a fascist. Because as Mussolini said, the definition of fascism is when the government works with the intelligence agencies work with the corporations to come against you, to work against you. So that's fascism. What Hitler was an absolute fascist, right and left. We all agree. Hitler was an absolute megalomaniac, just absolute despicable, awful, vile human being and a monster for killing 6 million people, trying to wipe out an entire race, and did wipe out probably thousands of generations of people and starting a world war over a race.
I mean, this guy was using shovels and tossing babies into open flames, for God's sake.
And killing children in front of their moms and separating moms and sisters from their dads and brothers and making people work in labor camps and
he shaved them and put barcodes on them.
Yeah, essentially on their wrist. I mean, that guy is an absolute fascist, and you can argue Bibi Netanyahu is too. You can argue that Trump aiding that genocide. I don't think he's a fascist, but you aid the fascist. But the point is, I don't see it. So. There's another video here, like the fact that he ran away, the fact that he knew that he wore that shirt. By the way, on Discord, you know, the reason he dropped the rifle is because, and this is what I don't understand, Thomas Matthew Crooks, who I believe that you and I discussed it on the in the RNC stream we did. I think that was the last ever live stream I did. That was, oh my God, yeah, you were on it. The last one that we did was an inside job. The sloped roof, Kim Cheadle, the whole thing. She used to work for Pepsi, and she, allowed that shit to happen to Trump. And then Trump stops his own investigation into his own assassination, which is absolutely amazing. But point is, he, like Thomas Matthew Crooks, Tyler Robinson was. I was about to say Anderson, but he was communicating with people on Discord. So why is it that we never figured out who Matthew Crooks was talking to on Discord, and why is it that we're not being told who this guy communicated with? Because these guys are an accessory to a crime. Because he was asking people for help to go get the rifle when he did his thing. Amazing.
And really, anybody who is celebrating this, in my opinion, is just as guilty to me. I really think that's what I think. But it's interesting too, because I'm very curious, because you could also, I mean, if you want to stretch it back even further, whoever sold him the gun, I mean, this is going to be turned into, look at what guns did to Charlie Kirk. No, it's not what guns did to Charlie Kirk. It is what Mr. Robinson did to Charlie Kirk.
And it's what, I mean, like, I if he would have walked up to Charlie Kirk and stabbed him, are we now going to talk about knife control? And look, Trump is talking about gun control for transgenders and mentally ill people, which I think you shared that with me, actually. And my response to that is that's kind of hypocritical on the left end, because on the left they're going to go, oh my God, you can't do that now. Well, aren't you guys the one arguing for that? But then what your side on the right wing are going to say, well, now we need this. But you guys were arguing against common sense gun reform to make sure that mentally ill people didn't get the, what I mean? So,
it's a psych evaluation is what is needed. It is a straight up psychological evaluation. If you are to buy a gun, I'm not saying you need like only these people and these people. I'm saying
everybody. If
you want to buy a gun, if you like, this is not going to violate the Second Amendment when I say this. If you specifically want to walk up into a store and buy a gun, there should be a trained psychologist working for these gun outlets, and they should give anybody buying a gun should sign a form saying that before they can have access to the gun, they will participate in a psychological evaluation.
And Charlie Kirk was against all of that. He was against any common sense gun legislation. Not even just taken away. I don't agree with the whole banning of bump stocks. I don't agree with banning high capacity magazines. I don't agree with that. First off, I don't think any human needs those aside from the military.
Yeah.
So if you could convince me on that, but I think people should be licensed. I think we should register guns. I think we register our cars. We register our IDs. We register our automobile. We register our trailers. So the point is, they found a suspect, And credit to the FBI, which the FBI is a corrupt institution. They're
Let the
holding
cops be cops, and this is what happens. And it's literally on one of the videos I watched today. It said, if you let cops be cops instead of trying to demonize them because they don't agree with you, then you will get these kind of results when they actually find a suspect, when they actually find the person. And as far as like all the gun control and regulations and everything, he may have been against it, but I also think it's very important. Like this is what goes into one of the letters that I sent you about us as a society not being able to completely eliminate gun death.
Sure, you're not going to do that. You're not going to completely eliminate it, and I think that's what my dad is texting, that if the government comes and tries to hurt you or invade your house or try to take your guns, you're not going to get them with just 6 bullets. But at the same time, you're not going to get them also with a high capacity rifle. You're just not, because from what I understand from gun aficionados and gun hobbyists, I got a few friends who hunt, and they say there's a reason why if someone breaks into your house, you'd rather have a shotgun or something, because a high capacity rifle, the shots are they're not meant to be kill shots. They're meant to go everywhere.
Yeah,
that's what I've been told. Is they're meant to go everywhere and anywhere and everywhere. And so you could be the guy could be at the front door or at the back door, but your bullets are whizzing by the couch, they're whizzing by the dining room, the toy room. They're doing all of that because there's no control.
Yeah.
But regardless, Charlie Kirk also did say that, unfortunately, and it's bad, but that there has to be a few gun deaths a year to protect the Second Amendment. I disagree. I don't think there needs to be gun deaths a year. And now people are using that as an ironic thing that he said, and well,
they're taking it out of context.
Well, he's now one of those very few gun deaths. If we say that only 10 people a year die due to guns, which is not true, but let's just say only 10 people a year died, well, he's now one of the 10.
Well, and I'll go one further as to say this. This goes into the idea of is this truly about freedom and liberty, the freedom to be able to carry guns? Because the simple fact of the matter is, if the situations are going to be different every time, if you genuinely feel like you're in danger and you're protecting yourself, that's one thing. This situation, this is out of cold blood, because Charlie Kirk never had an opportunity to defend himself.
Right, there was no, and yeah, it was taken out of context. But even I heard the entire speech, and I couldn't get it in time for the stream. Dad, if you wanna send it, you can. My dad's watching. So if you want to send it, you can. I'll share it live here. But that's the thing is, when you say that, it becomes ironic. So real quick, the suspect has been found. Let's go ahead and watch this.
We now turn this morning to a big development in the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Authorities say that the suspect has been arrested and is now in custody. Officials say he is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah. This is the first look at his mugshot this morning. During a press conference earlier, the FBI revealed Robinson's own father identified him from photos and called a youth pastor for help. We're told that the pastor then contacted the U.S. Marshal's office, who took the suspect into custody last night.
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period.
Officials go on to say a family member told investigators that the suspect spoke negatively about Charlie Kirk before the shooting happened. Kirk was killed Wednesday by a single shot in what police say was a targeted attack. Authorities recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle near the scene of the shooting and had said that the shooter jumped off of a roof and then vanished into the nearby woods. Afterwards, Kirk had been speaking at a debate hosted by Turning Point USA at Utah Valley University security at the time of the shooting. He was taken to a local hospital and was pronounced dead hours later.
So there it is, Charlie Kirk, and the President of the United States did confirm that Charlie Kirk was dead. My dad called me when I was at In-N-Out at lunch and told me the news that at first he said, oh, he got shot in the chest. I get home, CNN says he got shot in the neck, right around here. And I immediately said, he's gone. A political hero gone too soon. Now, this guy, Tyler Robinson, just for some, you know what? Can we play that history video? We'll do that in a bit. Tyler Robinson is a avid hunter. His dad was a 27-year veteran of the police department as a sheriff's deputy. He grew up around guns. He was not afraid of guns.
He knew how to use them.
Huh?
And he knew how to use them.
And he knew how to use them, and he showed his kids how to use them when they were young. Friends and family who knew Tyler Robinson who knew him say he was a good shot. He was always posing with weapons. He was always kind of just comfortable with them. He graduated from college. He received the state president scholarship for whatever it was. Your video, we'll talk about it, for Utah State University, worth about $30,000. He graduated. Here's
$32,000 to be exact.
$32,000.
Yeah.
Crazy enough, he goes to college and he becomes radicalized. And I just graduated from college. Maybe college was different when you were around, Aaron, but in today's day and age, it's all about pronouns, sexuality, different genders, and F the patriarchy, and all of that. So he became radicalized by the left-leaning, left-wing professors, blue-haired liberals, and his friends that quite frankly soaked it all in. There was no one to dispute it. I went to college, and if I disputed anything, I was met with hostility and often almost failing grades until I threatened with lawsuits. And I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. Not a lot of kids are. And so these kids were ratified, and he became absolutely engrossed in engaging Charlie Kirk in this. And instead of coming out and talking to Charlie Kirk and debating him, he decided to shoot him like a coward. Aaron.
And I'll go on further as to say this, and that is, college these days, especially by woke activists, they are misguided in what college is supposed to be. They think it's supposed to be a safe place, and it's not. College, the whole point of it, is to become a better critical thinker. If you, as a liberal, if you are so butthurt by the things you supposedly hear in college, you need to rectify it in your mind and understand that you're learning. People are not always going to be your yes men or yes women and tell you what you want to hear. That's not how life works. That is unrealistic. And I'll go on further as to say that you can't necessarily blame college as much as you can blame the landscape of what is welcome and what is not in college. I went to school, and I was going to college back in 2017, and this is like 6 years ago. 8 years ago. Man, I'm old. Anyway, and I was taking a course called Social Justice and Consciousness, because my major was integrative studies with a concentration in social science and education. And I was the only white male in the entire class. Because I had any sort of inclination of wanting to question and at least put us in a position of conversation about some of the stuff discussed in the textbooks, I was vilified that entire 16 weeks because I'm a white male and because I don't agree with the idea of white privilege.
Yeah, I agree. I had a classmate named Kyle, and we were in a class called Women's Studies. It was called Race, Class, and Gender, but it was called Women's Studies. And it was all the radicalization you ever need. And that's where it all happened. Like it. Gender studies. Yeah, exactly. The indoctrination. And I'm going to get to that. And we were watching a story about, her name was Star, in the 1990s. She's with a friend. They leave a party, I think Halloween party, whatever it was. They're in his car. Cop pulls them over. He has a hairbrush. The cop shoots him dead. Star goes on a campaign, whatever. And throughout the whole time, Kyle and I participated in it, and I feel kind of guilty doing it. I was a raging liberal back then. I'm still on the left, but I'm a lot more different. I'll be honest with you. And I vilified him too. Did he have some positions I still disagree with? Sure. But most of the time, he do what you did and just have a conversation. And everybody's, oh, brother, here he goes. And that nobody listened to him. And that's what colleges are, is an indoctrination that, and we're going to show you a video of how, 2 videos, how Charlie Kirk asks simple questions. One is, who are certain economists like Milton Friedman? Come on, we all know who Milton Friedman is. He's the godfather of economics. Ludwig von Mises, I think is his name. Karl Marx, who was a Marxist, but who talked about economics and the middle class. Yep. There's a lot of people that you and I can sit here and name, but that is because, credit to my mom and my dad, they made me think critically. And you're gonna see that they can't even answer basic questions. So
and when they get into those basic questions, they resort to name calling, or they resort to confrontation.
Right, like this. So so college is an indoctrination. That's what they are. They're indoctrination camps. And your kids come out a whole different way. This is why I tell a lot of kids, college might not be the right decision, because you might, like, for example, you might go and say, I want to be a software engineer. I want to improve people's lives. I want to work for a big firm and make $300,000 a year or more, $500,000. Instead of just going in for your nursing or your software engineering classes, you're going to take social studies. You're going to take an English class, a math class, but you're also going to take diversity classes. You got to take a culture class. You got to take a social science, and it has to double dip. And you're like, why? It's because they want to indoctrinate you. And the college industrial complex is now panicking, because now we got 52% of females that are going to college compared to 48% of men who are deciding to go trade or elsewhere. This is why you indoctrinate someone to the point where you can disagree with Charlie Kirk, but to the point where you go and you start shooting people because you disagree with them.
And shame on, again, and as I said before earlier in the stream, shame on anybody who has any sort of positive feeling about what happened to this man. Not only, I mean, you guys owe Erica, you guys owe those children the biggest of apologies, because the fact of the matter is, there is a man of the house that will never come home. There is, I mean, imagine what their family is going to go through simply due to association with a tragedy just as this.
Yeah. No, exactly. And a girl that's going to grow up without a male figure.
No father-daughter dances.
Figure like Charlie Kirk to show her what a good man is and what a bad man is and who she should be with. A dad who can vet. Who do you think knows a man better? And no, not saying anything against Erica, former Miss Universe, I think, or former Miss USA. But not trying to be rude to her or undermine her abilities as a mother, because I don't think she's a bad mother at all in any way. But think about it. Who can coach your nephews and my nephews better, or my niece and your little sister and Charlie Kirk's little girl on men better than a man?
Exactly. And by the way, a biological man, by the way.
Yes, a biological man, someone who is actually a man, who doesn't believe in multiple genders, because then it's absolutely.
I'm sorry. Someone who's got a penis. Okay, let's just be real.
Someone's got a penis. Someone's got XY chromosomes, not a double X chromosome.
Thank you.
Chromosomes, huh?
I said thank you. And it's like I'm not even saying that Erica won't be able to do it, but because I do believe that to an extent she can, but there will always be something missing. People don't realize in this situation how much this type of a tragedy, like, yes, you could move on. Yes, you could get yourself into a mental health space where you can continue to get up every day and live your life. But there are fundamental, foundational things that are going to be missed by this family, and shame on individuals who are celebrating it.
Absolutely. And the stupidity that comes out of their fucking mouths is just mind-boggling.
I'm glad y'all are getting fired from your jobs.
Yeah, there's a guy that you showed me that he's emailing all these employers. The fact that 15 out of 300, less than a quarter of the people that he reported are getting fired is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So when you kill a Republican, oh, it's okay. We'll just fire some of you. But if it were a Democrat and us Republicans were, you guys,
it'd be a mass layoff.
Oh my God, we'd have unemployment numbers off the roof.
You would. We absolutely would.
It's this absolute bullshit, and just there's sometimes when a girl walks in and Mom, he's so cute. Oh, and he's charming. He's this, and the guy's like, that guy gonna leave. We know. We've been around men our whole lives. We've been in a gym locker room with them. Like, mother effer, get the hell away from my daughter. What is wrong with you? And we gotta tell, honey, sweetheart, this is why he's an asshole.
Yeah. We've got to educate them. Like, I'm not trying to make it about race because that's not what I'm saying here, but it's the idea of Thomas Paine's common sense is not so common, and I have made that distinction for ages now. How does common sense exist when common sense is not so common?
Exactly. These colleges are not teaching common sense. These high schools aren't either. And that's a big problem. All right, let's get to the next one. So suppose it's a choice. It's a choice you got to make.
Mm-hmm.
You are a mom or a dad. Your son or daughter comes to you and says, Mom, Dad, I have done something awful and illegal. I have murdered someone in cold blood. What do you do as a parent? Do you turn them in? Do you hide them? You turn them in, they face justice. You're hailed a hero. You don't, you're an accessory to a crime. If you ever get found out. Well, this is a possibility of what Tyler Robinson's dad was facing. Let's hope it plays.
Most people are now looking at the alleged shooter Tyler Robinson with rage. How dare you? I want to walk you through and tell you the narrative of what likely happened here and why I see this as another tragedy. Now keep in mind, we can't truly know what happened, but I am connecting dots that are easy to connect. So let's start by looking through the eyes of Tyler Robinson's father, Matt. You've been a sheriff's deputy for 27 years. Consequently, you feel comfortable around guns. Perhaps it's even a hobby of yours. So you introduce your kids to firearms while they're young. Teach them about firearm safety and how to respect the weapon. Someday it'll be good for them to be able to defend themselves. You work long, hard hours, but you do what you can to give your kids a good childhood. Family trips, outings to Disney World, whatever you can do to make them happy. Your wife does her part too. She particularly enjoys dinner dates. Tyler graduates high school and manages to get a scholarship.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000.
You're beaming with pride as he sets off to pursue his dreams of becoming an engineer. But as time passes, something happens to Tyler in college that happens to a lot of students. Take a look at this montage of people who went to college and came out worse. On the left, you'll see what they were before, and on the right, you'll see what happened. Tyler began to hear things that went against everything you ever taught him. Radical ideas. It came from teachers, and it came from friends who soaked it all up too. And before you know it, Tyler's coming home for dinner, fiercely disagreeing with the very things that are foundational to your beliefs.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years.
So things become a little more tense, but he's your son. You love him, and you pray that eventually he'll come back. He's in college to learn engineering after all, and that's what matters. But one day, Tyler tells you about Charlie Kirk coming to town.
Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had.
You see Charlie Kirk has died, and you have a terrible feeling in your gut. And when the FBI puts out the photo of the suspect, you know it's Tyler. Now you are faced with a tragic, impossible choice. This is your son. You never thought he could do this. You know that turning him in will practically guarantee his death.
I hope he gets the death penalty.
And you will face shame, and everyone you know will no longer be on your side. But you were a police officer for years. You know what is right, and you know what you have to do. Imagine the pain of having to restrain your son while the police come to get him. Matt Robinson should be commended for what he's done. He was cornered into making an impossible decision that he had to make. And now Tyler has not only allegedly destroyed the Kirk family, he's destroyed his own family. And that is the tragedy lying under the surface.
That's hard, man. That's hard. Like, and this is something that I don't think people talk about enough, and that is, I mean, the selfishness there. Because there's selfishness where Tyler Robinson was in his own feelings, and he thought that he was justified, and he isn't.
No, he's not. And you know, I was thinking about the things in college, and I tell this story all the time. I was convinced the wage gap existed and women are paid unfairly and unequally to men. And then I became a business owner, and I had to pay people when I needed help with something that I couldn't do as a blind person, or not even that. I needed expertise that I didn't have, a person in the field of that I didn't have an expertise in. And I would have men and women working with me and for me that I would contract out. And I had a woman one time working 28 hours a week for me of the contracts I was getting. And I had a man working like 12. So who got paid more? The woman, obviously. And, you know, I thought it was funny when I would go to school and I would hear, oh, yeah, women are paid less. And I go, not the women who work for me. And I would start hearing the fact that, okay, well, you know, black men are paid less than white men. Well, actually, I had a black man working for me, did a very good job, and I didn't hire him based on the fact that he was black. I hired him because I knew he could do something I couldn't. He could code, and I couldn't. And he got paid more than the white man that I had paid to do some IT work for a client. Mm-hmm. And they both charged me a good amount of money off the contract I had. I didn't get to enjoy that contract because I had to pay everybody. That's what happens as a business owner, ladies and gentlemen. You really don't get to enjoy a lot of benefits in the first few years, because you got to pay everybody and supplies and all that. And
it's about breaking even. It's about getting out of the red enough where you can make a profit.
Right. And I did make some profit, but not billionaire status or millionaire status or six-figure status. And the point is that black man made more than the white man because his skill was needed more, and it was a higher priority, and he worked more hours. And the reason I bring that point up is he was radicalized to the point where the white man was bad, feminism is great, and if you're a Republican, you're obviously bad. And you know what's funny is I don't agree with most of the conservative movement, but there are things that I absolutely do agree with. And no matter what, you can express your negative views about Charlie Kirk at dinner, but leave it at that. Maybe even if you know he's coming, go debate him. But instead you resort to shooting him. And that puts, again, like we talked about, it's a choice that you have to make as a parent. What do you do? Especially a parent that works in law enforcement. Do you have a conversation with your wife? Honey, I'm going to go turn our son in. And you know
sounds so cavalier, like, honey, I'm going to go put our son in jail.
Yeah, that's not something you say every night.
No, it's not.
Your wife's getting her makeup off. She's getting her facial cream. She's putting her lotion on, getting her PJs on. Oh, honey, just by the way, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I got to be in at the police station. I'm going to turn Tyler in. What?
Come again?
Wait, what the fuck did you just say to me? And as a mom, because you know how moms, they kind of...
And to commend her as well for being able to just stand by and let it happen.
and let her husband do it. And could it be that they have that relationship where his say is the final say? Even then, moms try to coddle us and go, "Oh,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, they do. They would do anything for us.
Oh, absolutely, even if it's wrong. And that choice has got to be remarkably difficult.
Well, and commended. I mean, by God commended, because it is very easy, especially with, no offense to most women, but especially as defiant as most women are these days to the whims of their husbands, even though in the Bible it says the man is supposed to run the household.
Right.
We have come into a society that does not do that anymore. And I'm not like going for or against here or there. What I'm emphasizing is the fact that to be able to commend her for being able to be submissive enough to say, look, I've helped as much as I can. I know he's my son, but for the benefit of the world around us, this has to be done.
Right. I get that for sure. Let me get this next one up here. How do I don't know if I have. Oh. I hope this is it.
You got this, man.
All right. You see this, right?
Yes. This is the okay, so that's the first letter. Hold on. I got you, buddy Ro. Give me a second.
All right, so these are pictures that Arron sent me earlier today, and we're going to go over them. You guys have them here on the screen. Arron will describe photo by photo in the transcripts. I have no idea where he's going with this, so just understand that we're going to find out together.
All right, so this is Charlie Kirk. He's talking. This is one of his debates. Okay, so it starts off by saying, people dying on the road. So it says, so we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. You could significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, by having more armed guards in front of schools. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society where you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody else like this. There's nobody else like this. They live in a complete alternate universe. So then, how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings at baseball games? Because we have armed guards outside of baseball games. That's why. And then that first letter stops there. But this is an excerpt talking about if the Second Amendment exists, which it should, because we have our freedoms, there's always going to be gun deaths. But again, if you have armed guards in the schools, just like you do in public events, I mean, where is the true treasure to be protected? If the true treasure is our children and they are our future, as it has been specified on a myriad of occasions that they are, then we need to protect them more. And that's what is sort of illustrated in this excerpt.
Yeah, and before you move on to the next one, I think it's I disagree on the few gun deaths, but I do agree. And my dad and I, after the Orlando shooting, were talking and said there are schools that are putting the little smoke thingies where it shoots out smoke and it ties down the shooter that's coming into the school. There's panic buttons at every teacher's desk and bulletproof glass and bulletproof walls. And do we want to spend all that money? No.
We
but
have to.
But we have to. And not only that, why don't we have metal detectors at our schools?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's going to make people feel weary and this and this and that. It won't feel like school. I would gladly, in high school, have gone through a metal detector. My dad could walk into the side door of Valley High School and shoot everybody in sight if he wanted.
Put TSA in front of a school.
Yeah, do that. We protect our airports. Well, no, you can walk into any airport and start shooting. You can't shoot past security, though. If you want to get on an airplane, they make you throw out a water bottle. They make you put your pills in the exact pill bottle, or they have to throw it away. You bring a shampoo or a hair gel, and you bring a portable charger, and it has to be under 100,000 watts. So why is it? And they, the little brush that they use for the hands,
Yeah.
And by the way, and then they made you take off your shoes. By the way, they're getting rid of that rule now. But you take off your belts, you take off whatever. So why is it that we secure our airplanes but not our schools?
Why is it that banks, we are protecting pieces of paper and pieces of coin that has been agreed upon as currency, that has more protection than our children?
Yeah, we have an armed guard sitting inside of a large safe that's maybe 5x8 or 8x5, whatever, however it works, sitting there all day, and he's behind bulletproof glass. His job is just to sit there with a rifle, staring at the wall to protect money.
To protect paper.
Paper. And not only that, I mean, it's so... I get what he's saying there. And that's the quote I was talking about earlier, where he says a few gun deaths a year are worth it. I don't think it's worth it, but what I do believe is that you can't ban guns. And now, look, had the founding fathers said, "Hey, nobody has the right to bear arms," conservatives would not be saying what you guys are saying right now about guns. But everyone in Australia gave up their guns after one shooting in 1996, and they still have at least 2 gun deaths a year.
Yep.
2. Now, do they have gun deaths that we have? No. Give props to Australia, they don't. But they still have gun deaths. They still have knife deaths. If you take away my gun, I'm gonna grab a knife. If you take away my knife, I'm gonna grab my axe. If you take away my axe, I'm gonna grab a hammer.
And going back to your point earlier, that what you said about registration, there are people that have unregistered guns hidden. I'm not going to name specific names, but I know somebody.
Yeah, we all do.
Somebody who's very close to me, who you go into their house, you go into a back safe, and they literally have a damn armory sitting in one of their back rooms. You say that, like, there's no way to enforce complete registration of guns. There's just no way.
Mm-hmm. All right. You want to go to the second one?
Yes. So, all right. So this one. So, okay. So this one's talking about tyrannical governments, and this is going back to one of his other debates, and he says, if that talk. So basically, he's talking about us needing to have. He was kind of approaching more of a John Lockeist type deal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Of if the government is infringing upon your basic human rights, then you, as a citizen, have the obligation to overthrow it. So, in the end of the sentence, it's talking about tyrannical governments, and he says, and if that talk scares you, wow, that's radical. Charlie, I don't know about that. Well, then, you have not really read any of the literature of our founding fathers. Number 2, you've not read any 20th century history. You're just living in Narnia. By the way, if you're actually living in Narnia, you would be wiser than wherever you're living, because C.S. Lewis was really smart. So I don't know if what alternative universe you're living in. I don't know what alternative universe you're living in. You just don't want to face reality that governments tend to get tyrannical, and that if people need an ability to protect themselves and their communities and their families. Now, we must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price, and that is part of liberty. Driving comes with a price. 50,000, or sorry, is it? Yeah, no, 50,000 people die on the road every year. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, and mobility, having products and services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. So, this is talking about liberty. This is what I mentioned when I talked earlier about cost-benefit analysis. Because when you make a decision in life, it does not matter what the decision is, whether it's as simple as getting up every day and brushing your teeth, or as simple as getting behind the wheel of a car, or as simple as buying a gun. You, as an individual, are analyzing, does the benefit outweigh the cost? If Tyler Robinson is the killer of Charlie Kirk, which we are assuming right now that he is, he made the decision that the benefit of Charlie Kirk's death was worth the cost of his freedom. There you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. The cost. There's a cost to everything we have.
We made the choice, if we wanted to drive, to go places, to do things, to be global citizens, to interact with the world around us. We take a risk getting into a car every single day. Just as we want to be able to protect ourselves, not only from the people around us who wish ill intent on us, but also those same individuals who want, those same governments and individuals who want to tarnish us, who want to hurt us. Do you believe that we have the right to protect ourselves? If I were to simply walk into your room, straight up beat the living daylights out of you, do you believe you have the right to defend yourself?
Right. Or can I send someone? Can I send my dad? Can I send my brother? Can I send my cousins and say, hey, this guy lives in Virginia, this guy's at a hotel? Can I send him after you? You know?
Well, and it goes one further. If you defend yourself against me and I die in the process, does that make you a bad person?
No.
And in this case, when we look at Charlie Kirk, when we look at Tyler Robinson, there was no him defending himself.
And there was premeditation.
It was premeditation, and the evidence showed that man, a nerve into his brain was severed by the shot. That man was dead before he fully fell back.
Right. And not only that, but you think about it, and you think of how I'm trying to put it this way, how premeditated it was. He was on Discord where all these terrorists are apparently talking, and the government won't do anything about it, but they want to talk about TikTok. And these guys are talking on Discord, and he's getting help, and no one's talking about the guy that helped him. And I feel like they're gonna sweep that under the rug.
Yep.
And it's absolutely amazing. And it's like Charlie Kirk is gonna become a martyr. Dr. King, you know, the Ku Klux Klan loved that he was killed.
Yep.
Loved it. Imagine the Ku Klux Klan on TikTok right now talking about
gosh.
Black man God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They would be canceled. They rightly so.
They would be hunted down.
Yes, and rightly so. Dr. King was an absolute hero of our generation. Why were we separating people based on the color of their skin? And we're doing it today.
Why are we separating people because it's the right or the left? Why are we separating people? Because if we're talking about Gaza right now, and I'm not saying that Gaza was not, what's going on with Israel is not important. I'm not saying that at all. But if the left decides that this is an issue that's important to them, they'll publicize it. They'll fight for it. Charlie Kirk was not specifically talking about conservative ideals. He was talking about family values. He was a devout Christian, and he talked about strict family values, and that's why he died.
Yes, and there was a girl on TikTok yesterday who was doing basically, he said that a woman's only purpose is to produce children and take it home. And she was like, well, yeah, thank God he's dead. Well, guess what? You are the reason that this world is separated, because if we had a mom and a dad in the home and parents got to know each other before they got married, and we had a dad who went to work and a mom staying at home and raising our kids and raising them morally, and the dad came and make sure she's not teaching him dumb shit, and then they both raised a family. That's why we didn't have that.
God, you're a team.
You didn't have that many killings in the 1950s, aside from the Klan, aside from all the history that happened in the 1950s and 60s. You didn't have that many killings because of the family unit. The 1950s saw the nuclear family.
For the love of God, the family unit was a team. Does nobody understand that you were a team? Everybody loved when factories first became a thing, because you were an assembly line. You had resources. You had jobs that were allocated based on what people thought you were best at. And that's the same thing that traditional family values was doing.
And we've gone away from that, and feminists are saying, oh, no, that's bad. That's this, that's that, because we lie to women and say, go get a job, honey, when you're 35. And you've got hundreds of thousands in the bank, you got your apartment in Manhattan, and you've got a high retirement, and you're ready to go, every man's going to want you. Where it's the opposite, because they're ignoring the sexual marketplace. And there's a few things wrong with that Charlie Kirk talked about, actually, that we lie to them. And then, it was Myron Gaines that talked about it. I think Myron Phelps, actually. Yeah. He said, we lie to women because when they become that age, they now have higher standards than they would have at 25, because now they're rich. So now they're going to need a man that's double their income, that's double this, that's double that, that's double whatever standards they have. And so they're going to find that less than 3% of the male population have those qualifications and can check those boxes. And then number two, the sexual marketplace. The older men want younger women, and the 35-year-old man is not going to want a 35-year-old woman. He's going to want a 28-year-old, a 25-year-old, a 23-year-old. And no, it's not predatory. That's just the way it works. And the younger guys are going to want to get with the woman just to sleep with her, but they're not going to want to wife her up, because she comes with more baggage. She comes with more experience that men just don't want. It's a double standard, but women are used to double standards anyway. 80% of my audience are women, so I'm probably risking a lot saying that. That's fine. Whatever. If you don't like it, leave. But I think the family values need to be brought back into our country. I think we need to stop having single moms and dads. I think we need to stop having broken homes. I think we need to stop the war on drugs that are sending black men to prison for no reason over just smoking a little bit of weed. And I think we need to get back to the family structure, because if we do that, a lot of the problems we have now will go away.
And by the way, like, and this is a left thing too. Stop devaluing the role of a man. Stop devaluing what it means to be masculine. It was John Eldridge, and I know he's a Christian writer. Just bear with me. It was John Eldridge who said, we should be able to celebrate what it means for a man to be a man.
Right. It's toxic to now be a man.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that we are so divisive that we say that kind of thing. But if we said, "Oh, there's toxic femininity," oh, now that's a problem.
Yep.
But where you were saying that's not a problem, I think that's a problem.
That's a big ass problem.
The fact that one gender can do it and the other can't. First off, I don't think we should do it anyway. But the fact that they can do it. Let's go into this tribute. Well, we'll talk tributes at the end. Let's talk about weather. We were Aaron, we were just talking about the scam that college is and how people don't know how to critically think, and the indoctrination that college is. And one of the biggest positions Charlie Kirk has is that college is a scam. You and I both agree on that. So
I believe, okay, so if the right things were being like, if the content was correct and the right things were being learned, I do believe that the college system could be something useful. However, we live in a society right now where it's more about what your political beliefs are in college than it is about actually getting trained to do what you're supposed to do.
Right, and that's why you have a lot of unqualified people in work today, in the workforce, and job. So this is a debate that Charlie Kirk had. Is college a scam? Well, this video is titled, "A College Degree Does Not Make You Smarter." And here's why. You're going to laugh.
You dropped out of college, and your highest...
Community college.
Sorry, your Harper College experience.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Barely was smart enough to make it through community college.
So essentially, what are your qualifications for arguing that college is a scam, or really having any economical knowledge at all, when likely the vast majority of the students here know more than you about economics as a whole?
Okay, so no, hold on. It's okay, guys. It's okay.
Let him talk.
Who's Milton Friedman?
Who's Milton Friedman? I have no.
Who's Milton Friedman, Aaron?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I don't know that either.
That is the godfather of economics. He is the main. We talk about John Locke and the Enlightenists. These Enlightenments. This guy, Milton Friedman, is the godfather and the basis for economics today. Okay.
No idea, and it's not important to this conversation.
Who is Ludwig von Mises?
Do you know who Ludwig von Mises is?
Again, I'm kind of. I don't know.
These are all prominent economists. This is how intelligent Charlie Kirk was. So this guy's saying that Charlie Kirk doesn't know the economics of college, doesn't know anything because he dropped out of community college. So
these are all probably economists, and the same
who
thing.
Is John Maynard Keynes?
Okay, obviously I know who Keynes is.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
He's the most famous economist of all time.
You don't know Milton Friedman?
I mean, that's an economist.
Okay, how about Murray Rothbard?
That's another economist.
F.A. Hayek?
I don't know who that is.
Well, then you just came here and insulted my intelligence. You're right, I barely made it through community college because I was too busy, starting a national youth movement with hundreds of thousands of members.
Hey, hold on.
Employing hundreds of people, raising hundreds of millions of dollars, having a top 10 most popular podcast, and reaching tens of millions of people online every day.
Sure,
but hold on.
But you're also calling all of your constituents idiots by saying they participate in a scam. Their shirt's right there.
I'm
college
calling
is a
the
scam.
Institution a scam.
So then
I never insulted the intelligence. I just had 10 people come up and we had warm conversations. So you asked, what are my qualifications? I'm a job creator, entrepreneur, autodidact. Do you know what that word means?
Self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught,
That girl just said autodidact means self-taught. I didn't know that, by the way. I kind of knew. I thought, is it the act of self-teaching? But basically. And so she knew that, and he went, All right, here we go.
So like damn Tim Taylor, bro.
Yeah.
You should probably learn that word if you're going to come up and insult other people's intelligence. So autodidacticism is what Leonardo da Vinci was. You don't have to go to college to be wise. You don't have to go to college to be intelligent. I read 100 books a year. I visit over 150 colleges.
I'm not saying you're unintelligent. I'm just saying you lack qualifications.
Well, are you a New York Times bestseller?
Of course not. I'm in college.
Got it. So I'm just trying. What are my qualifications? I have published books, read lots of books, dialogued with a lot of people, and instead of asking what my qualifications are.
So that stopped. Amazing. Wow. So he went. Yeah, Aaron, go ahead. I mean,
but but see, the other part of it too is it should be about what you know as opposed to who you know, not what you know as opposed to getting a piece of paper. What you know in terms of your experience.
And also, I can go to a library right now. I can get off my ass off this stream, go to a library with my Google glasses or my Meta glasses. I can go grab a book off the shelf. I can sit down and try and have those glasses read it. And I could get a book on economics. I could figure out who Ludwig von Mises is, Milton Friedman, Keynes. I can figure out who all those guys are. I can get a book on engineering. I can get a book on nursing.
Research.
I can get a book on labels. I can record labels. I can do a lot of things that I don't need college for, and I don't need to be wasting tens of thousands of dollars like I did. And I just like how he went to insult his intelligence. And I got to be honest, you ever seen those tests, those videos where the feminists say they're the smartest in the room because they got all the PhDs? And you get like that Marine who has never gone to college, and they say that the feminists have the highest IQs, and then they do the IQ test, and it turns out the Marine has the highest IQ. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I have.
It's funny. How does he have the highest IQ? You got the PhD, sweetheart. You've read 1,000 papers. You've read 2,000-page books. You've done research. It's because the topics that you're learning in school are about scholastics. They're not about real world attributes. They're not about real world problems. And this guy literally did not know jack squat. And Charlie Kirk knew all of that. He was so intelligent. I sometimes would watch his things and go, how does he know all of that on the fly? Smart man. And he just proved right there college is a scam. Now, I've got another reason college is a scam here. Okay? You're going to love this. So let me get this here. There's another reason college is a scam. Let's see. All right.
Gotcha.
You good?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still with you. I'm just all right, give me a second. All right. All right. I'm still with you.
You're good. You're good. It's a live stream. I can edit it down later.
No. Sorry, I'm trying to go into the next letter, correct? Or are we doing another video?
Yeah, well, we were going to do that, but you can go into the next letter real quick. I just went forward because you didn't tell me whether you wanted. Let's do, if you could summarize it, and just kind of what you were saying in the third letter.
Okay, I got you. So in the third letter, okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah. So come on. Sorry, thing was being dumb. Okay, all right. How's it going, Charlie? It says, I'm Austin. I just had a question related to. This is also more to the Second Amendment. He basically says, we saw the shooting that happened recently, and a lot of people. Okay, so basically, it's just another. The third one is like another one talking about preventing shootings, but he's basically saying. I'm a big Second Amendment fan, but I think most politicians are cowards when it comes to defending why we have a Second Amendment. And he's saying this is why I would not be a good politician, or maybe I would. But he basically says the Second Amendment is not about hunting. I love hunting. The Second Amendment is not even about personal defense. that is important. But he says the Second Amendment is there. God forbid, so that you can defend yourself against. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's the Second Amendment. He's basically talking about in the third letter why we have a Second Amendment, and it's very interesting because it's very interesting because so many people are thinking, oh, we're just like it's about protecting yourself. Like we are trying to protect ourselves. Is that it goes back into the cost benefit analysis? Like, is the cost worth it? Is the cost worth it?
It's a good question.
It repeats the same thing.
Well, and you think about the remember that mall shooting where it lasted 16 seconds because someone got off his chair in the food court and shot his ass? You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Well, had he not been there, the mall security would have taken forever to get there. Someone would have had to call 911. The cops, there's one thing about the law enforcement, if they take too fucking long. It would have taken like 10 minutes to get another cop there. How many more deaths would we have had instead of those 2 or 3?
A hell of a lot more, that's for damn sure.
Exactly. So I can see where he's going there. All right, do you want to summarize the last 2?
Yeah. Yes. Give me a second. Okay. All right. So the last two letters here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So these last 2. So actually, no. There's only one more letter that I need to summarize. Okay. So. All right. So. Okay. That is it is true. Okay. So again, again, not much is different. It's just talking about basically the idea of completely preventing gun deaths. And again, we are never going to completely be able to do that. A lot of the letters from the debates that I was sent are basically reiterating what we already know, and that is
right.
We're not going to be able to completely. We're not going to be able to completely get rid of gun deaths. It's just not going to happen. We're really not.
No.
No matter how much we want to. Okay. Yeah. No. That's really what it comes down to.
Okay.
Yeah. That's basically. Yeah.
All right. This is another way college is a scam. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna laugh at this. This is another reason why he says it's a scam, and these liberals just can't fight against it.
College is a scam, so I drove 4 hours here just so I could debate you on this. I've been in school for 4 years, majoring in English. My education means a lot to me. I've put in a lot of work to be here.
What school?
University of Utah.
Okay, cool.
And so I find it extremely disrespectful for you to say that college is a scam, not just to me, but everyone here that's also going to school.
What's your favorite Charles Dickens book?
That was like Push For, like I Come For, like that's like all around there.
No.
You know who Charles Dickens is?
Yes, I do. Very, very, very good poet.
Wasn't he also the one that wrote not the Little Prince, Gatsby?
Yes, you're right. The Great Gatsby. Yes.
Yep. And he also wrote, what poem was it? It was about what's your favorite novel?
My favorite novel? It's actually so. Well, I was a big fan of Holes back in the day, but I was a big fan of the book Holes back in the day. Give me a second. Okay, I'm multitasking here. Yeah. So my favorite novel back in the day was definitely Holes.
Holes.
But as far as Charles Dickens.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I didn't read much by him, but that's one of the things where his book, The Great Gatsby, and a lot of his poetry, two things that were so good that it didn't matter how much you read of him. you would have heard of him. It's one of those things where his work became so good that a lot of people saw it as public property instead of property of
his.
And just exactly.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
People said the same thing about Star Wars when that first came out. People said the same thing say the same thing about the Indiana Jones movies. If you create something as an artist and it is so well received that the overall world believes it belongs to them, you've done some good work. And a lot of the works of Charles Dickens are one of those things.
Yeah. Well, let's see what else this English major. Remember, he's an English major, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else he knows.
Tell me which one?
The sixth one.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Just like the one like with Bushmere.
Oh, okay. How about your favorite Jane Austen novel?
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I read Jane Austen in high school.
Dude, Pride and Prejudice?
I mean, come on.
But there's one more as well. I'm trying to remember. Oh my gosh, there was a sequel to Pride and Prejudice. I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Jane Eyre.
Sensibility.
Oh yes, yes. And remember Jane Eyre?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, yes, Jane Eyre. I remember Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice Zombies. I mean, the list goes on and on.
On and on and on. See, you know that. I know that. Okay, wait.
Jane Austen?
It gets better.
You're an English major.
Yeah. Well, it's like come forward. So it's like.
What's your favorite? I'm going to give you another chance.
Okay.
What's your favorite Jane Austen novel?
Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh.
Harry Potter.
That's J.K. Rowling, you nimhead.
That's J.K. Rowling, you fucking idiot, you dumbass.
Okay, I'm sorry if that sounded gross. I was in the middle of like a nose blow when he said Harry Potter, and I. Oh my god! Ooh, that was great. Oh my lord!
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Name five books in the series.
Yeah, you compare one book or Pride and Prejudice through the entire 8-book series. God help them. God,
what the fuck are they teaching English majors? Holy shit. All right, here we go.
They're teaching them how to not major in English.
You've
been there for 4 years?
4.5.
I like the girl that's like, you've been here for 4 years?
I was just thinking that too. She was like calling him out so bad.
She called his ass out. He's like
my
4.5. When 4.5 years in college, and you what the hell?
Oh my gosh, there's I would not be surprised if you see like Charlie Kirk is going to be like the Hydra. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cut off you shot him and you cut off his head, but it's 1 for 10,000. You just had 10,000 more Charlie Kirk show up. Somebody's going to be.
And they're going to be even more right wing.
Yes.
They're going to be even more right wing than he was.
Yeah.
You thought he was bad. Who, baby?
Oh, they haven't seen nothing yet.
Nope. All right. Hold on. It gets better.
Well, I have one more question.
You are proving that college is indeed a scam.
Okay. Well, my dad paid a lot of money so I could go to college, and
sir, I don't.
That's not a valid argument.
That is
if
not
anything, you're proving that you're wasting your dad's money.
Yeah, please ask the university for your fucking money back, sir, because your son has just proven that college is a scam.
He has proved that you are a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
I mean, just amazing.
The ignorance is, I mean, it's like fog that's as thick as pea soup. It's really what it is.
Wow. I'm just
words fail me. Words fail me.
What?
Words fail me.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Oh man. Let's stick to this. We'll take some of the what love is and all that.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to preface this by saying this because we got to have a good segue and kind of get into this a little bit because so many people, because Charlie Kirk was somebody who was quite in your face, not in your face in terms of he was loud. This man was fearless. He went into hostile territory on a regular basis. Not only did he speak about family values, but he wore his relationship with God on his sleeve. And that is something that I respect. The argument can be made. Well, okay, let me just preface this by saying, if you and I, Jason, were going out and we were about to, go hang out, meet some women, whatever, and you wore something that I thought was butt ugly, would you want me to tell you?
Oh yeah. Like, dude,
like as your friend, because the thing of it is, like, the liberal / left wing agenda would basically say, no, you tell them it looks good, even though it doesn't, because you want to protect their feelings. And it goes into that video that I sent you about self-esteem, because they want to protect feelings more than they want to lovingly hold people accountable for their crap.
And we'll get into that once we get into that video. Yeah, you're right, because the body positivity movement. No, honey, you need to lose weight because of your health. I'm not saying it because and that's just
I'm
it.
a fat fuck. I know that. I'm a fat fuck. I know I need to lose weight. I mean, good.
I
God.
need to lose weight.
I would be the one. I want you to tell me too. If I don't do, like, because as somebody who is blind or low vision, there are certain aspects of grooming that are a bit on the difficult side. I would want my family to tell me if I did something wrong. Like, if I'm shaving and I basically just left a bald spot patch in my chin, I'd want my family to tell me.
Yeah, my mom tells me, oh, you have the crust in your eyes, or kind of the eye boogers, or oh, you have, you didn't brush your hair. And she would tell me, like, girls aren't gonna be looking at you if you do that. And my mom, she's just saying it because she cares. Now, let's talk about gender studies, and let's look at Charlie Kirk. These next few videos are gonna be fun. Gender studies. Let's go.
Student demanded Charlie Kirk recognize gender studies, only for Charlie Kirk to completely destroy her argument with one simple question.
Well, gender studies is actually, if you look on like the pre-law track, gender studies is a pre-law track. If you're going to be a lawyer, you have to study gender studies. And
why would a lawyer need to study gender studies? Shouldn't a lawyer know the law?
It's a social science. The law, you think the law isn't inadvertently affected by social, cultural, and gender norms?
Of course it is, but shouldn't they first know the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Federalist Papers?
We learned that in high school.
Okay, so what is Marbury versus Madison?
I haven't been in high school for a really long time. I'm not trying to be a lawyer.
Hey, Jason, pause that.
Yeah, so like...
Who wrote the Constitution?
Founding Fathers, 1778. I don't know.
It wasn't 1778.
I don't know.
Close,
yeah.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Well, this is the point, is that you don't learn it in high school. You don't even learn it in undergraduate, and our law school's not learning it. So maybe...
Well, I'm not in law school.
Marbury versus Madison, for anybody who wants to know, was the case that established judicial review, which basically allows the Supreme Court to decide what is constitutional and non-constitutional. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. It was the Continental Congress of 1776, where the Constitution was ratified. And by the way, that was an expanded version of the Articles of Confederation, which was the governing document that took place when America was first established. Thank you.
The point is that you were saying they already learned it, and they don't.
All right, so do you want to play it again? Because you already...
I mean, you can if you want, if it's easier. Yeah.
All right.
Liberal student demanded Charlie Kirk recognize gender studies.
Oh, by the way, Master Rick, hello. Sorry, I didn't see that comment. How you doing, bro? It's my cousin.
Awesome.
He wrote in the chat. He wrote in the chat. So
what did he say? What did he say?
He said, "Hello, Jay."
Okay, cool.
Only for Charlie Kirk to completely destroy her argument with one simple question.
Well, gender studies is actually, if you look on like the pre-law track, gender studies is a pre-law track. If you're going to be a lawyer, you have to study gender studies. And
why would a lawyer need to study gender studies? Shouldn't a lawyer know the law?
It's a...
Your Honor, hold on. Yes, Your Honor. But the suspect was seen on Fifth Avenue. Your Honor, he misgendered the suspect. Objection.
Not sustained at all.
Get out. Unless you have these candy blue liberal judges, but okay.
Exactly.
Social science. The law. You think the law isn't inadvertently affected by social, cultural, and gender
Of
norms?
course it is, but shouldn't they first know the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Federalist Papers?
We learned that in high school.
Okay, so what is Marbury versus Madison?
I haven't been in high school for a really long time. I'm not trying to be a lawyer. Yeah. So like,
who wrote the Constitution?
founding fathers, 1778. I don't know.
It wasn't 1778.
I don't know.
Close,
Yeah.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Well, this is the point.
Who wrote the Constitution? Who wrote the Bill of Rights, the Constitution?
I'm pretty sure that was Thomas Jefferson, wasn't it?
Thomas Jefferson, the founding fathers. Who are the founding fathers?
Yes. Again, Thomas Jefferson. You had George Washington. You had John Adams.
John Jay, James Madison.
Yep.
Alexander
James
Hamilton.
Monroe.
James Monroe.
Yep.
We just named about 6. Benjamin. Benjamin
Franklin. Yep.
Not Edison, right? No.
No, that's Thomas Edison. He's the inventor of the light bulb.
Yeah.
And the telegraph.
All right, I'm stupid.
No, you're good. Look.
But so we just named what, 7, 8 of them? There's 10.
There's 10. Yeah.
So
and again, not all of them are heavily publicized. So it's one thing if there's like 2 or if there's 2 or 3 of them you don't know, but we basically just named the key players. Okay.
Well, and we named like many of our presidents: George Washington.
I mean, was it George
John
Washington
Adams.
was first? John Adams was second.
Right. Amazing. She didn't know that. Okay.
Is that you don't learn it in high school. You don't even learn it in undergraduate, and our law school's not learning it. So maybe.
Well, I'm not in law school.
No, the point is that you were saying they already learned it, and they don't.
Another reason college is a scam.
Well, I mean, it's even getting into a point where, like, grade schools are not teaching what they're supposed to teach either because they want this version of revisionist history, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah. No. All right. Let's see why else. So let's see. Oh, this is gonna be even funnier. You ready?
I'm down, bro. Go ahead.
Boys and girls locker rooms.
Mm-hmm.
College student stuns Charlie Kirk after telling him she would feel okay having a man in the girls' locker room.
I went to an all-girls school, and so I experienced the idea.
But you said all girls. What makes you think they're girls? Like, what makes them girls?
That's the thing, is that we've had a couple people who obviously recently have started to claim that they don't identify as a girl.
So I could attend your school you grew up in? Would that be okay?
I mean, I guess.
But if I said I identified as a female, you'd be cool if I went to your school you grew up with?
Well, yes.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I personally
Even though my chromosomal structure is XY, so you think it's so I should be allowed in your locker room? Then?
I mean, personally, I think that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So like 13-year-old girls with 13-year-old guys, perfectly cool.
But you're not a guy. You're a girl if you identify.
Well, maybe I am. Maybe I'm a guy. Why are you assuming my gender? Do you see where things can get into utter and total chaos and confusion rather quickly?
Oh, see? Just another one of his hits. Well, how do you know I'm a guy? How do you know I'm a girl? What if I'm, a guy? What if I'm not a guy? Why are you misgendering me? See where the chaos is?
Oh yeah, well it's not like you can just drop someone's drawers and look down there and say, "Hey, what's in between your legs?" Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Right. So now, but that's why he got her.
That's exactly why he got her.
All right. So that was just one. I got more.
I got some more.
I got more.
Damn.
This one's even funnier.
All right, I'm
outraged liberal completely lost it when Charlie Kirk hit him with one devastating question that she could not answer.
So what is a woman?
What is a woman is whatever you want to be.
So anyone can be a woman?
Yeah.
So do you get a period?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So, no.
Wow. Can you give birth?
No.
So a woman can be whatever you want it to be.
Hormones by themselves, you can actively change. By taking HRT, you can also stop taking the T suppressor.
But people are more than hormones. You have men with low testosterone, those are called white dudes for Harris. If I wear a disguise or a costume, do I become that thing? For example, if I dress with a sombrero and start talking with a Mexican accent, do I then become that culture?
No, because that's different race.
How is it different? Because you're saying that if you dress a certain way and you present a certain way, you can be as you think you are. Why can't I also just choose what culture I am?
Because you are born within a culture, you are born with.
But you were born as a man.
All right.
Ooh,
Bingo.
That got intense. Well,
bingo.
This is the this is the argument I've had with one of my siblings who's in the LGBTQ community. I won't say who. And look, if you want to be queer, you want to be lesbian, you want to be whatever, you be whatever you want. You're in America. You could be whatever you want. Just don't bully us into thinking your way. And I think that's what colleges do. They make people, they bully you, and then they get out of college and they start to bully people.
And don't bully me into accepting your lifestyle. Like I am. It doesn't. If you're gay, great, but I'm not going to recognize your relationship.
Yeah, but then the Christian religion says you got to recognize all.
Okay, it's not about recognizing all, because the fact of the matter is, I think gayness. I think being gay is chosen. It's not. You're not born that way.
You're not born that way. You're right, but it is chosen. It's kind of like when a guy gets married to a girl your mom doesn't like, but the rest of the family likes her, and they're like, Janet, why don't you like her? I just don't like her. She's a bitch. Even though she's been the most awesome wife to your son and the most awesome daughter-in-law to you, and just the most awesome family member, she doesn't recognize the relationship, and Christians will see that as a problem. So it's the same thing. But with her, I like his point, because I've had this argument with my sibling. Okay, so if I can identify as a woman, I can say I'm a woman, I can dress like a woman and act like a woman, then can I be can I dress up and can I now identify? I don't have to dress up. Can I identify as a Black or Haitian woman? He said no, because race is a social construct. No, it's not. Race is not a social construct. Martin Luther King said race, creed, color, culture, and skin color, whatever, those ought to be protected. So was Martin Luther King protecting the social construct? I said, so your argument is ass backwards, and I can flip it upside down, because you're saying I can be whatever the fuck I want.
Can I be a fork? Can I dress up as a fork and put 3 prongs on my head?
Yeah, exactly. Can I dress up as a porcupine and say I'm a porcupine? Can I dress up as a dog and act like a dog, and I can identify as a dog? Right? So they're saying no. So it's only what I want it to be. But the minute you take it out of their circle, oops, that's a problem. And that's where Charlie Kirk got him.
It's selective history is what it is. And
did you notice how he said, fuck you then?
Yeah, because again, it goes back to what I said before. When it's not what they agree with, honestly, it is literally woke fascism.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk another DEI, because this one's even better. And that one is just amazing that he just was able to call her out, and the only response she had was to curse him out.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. All right.
Yep.
DEI.
And claim white people are privileged and chosen over Black people, leaning on DEI logic to support her point. Charlie Kirk completely destroyed her argument, exposing why DEI doesn't work, and she was left speechless.
And I understand what you're trying to say, because of course, with affirmative action and DEI, that does give them an upper hand. But where does it say that you take somebody just because of that color?
All over the place. Capitol Street Partners back in the summer 2022 said that they will not hire white men for internships. That's one example of thousands I could give.
But because of how many people are in there, how many people in position?
Because they wanted to be. Again, that's irrelevant. It does not matter if you have an internship and everyone is a white man. If they're all qualified, that's great. It doesn't matter if they're all Asian or all Black. It should be what merit qualification gets the people into that position.
And of course, but if this school only wanted white people to attend.
No, good, like excellent qualified people. And if they end up majority white, who cares? Why does that matter?
I don't think that matters. I'm saying that affirmative action.
No, you are saying it matters.
I'm saying that, but I'm not saying for the white male or the Black race or the Asian race or the Indian race, or understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that it works in favor for any race and any sex. It works. And it does 1,000%, and I don't understand where you're getting that information.
It is anti-white racism that was in the fiber of our laws that is now getting away thanks to President Donald Trump, where if you were a white man, especially to apply for internships, jobs, going to college, that it was significantly harder to get those jobs, to get into those practices, because there were quotas that made it easier for people of other skin colors with lower standards to be able to get those positions. We agree there's only so many slots in a college, right? There's only so many positions in an internship. It's a limited supply.
I completely agree.
It is scarcity. So when you have a scarce resource, you have to decide how you're going to divvy up that scarce resource.
For sure.
In a DEI model, They're going to say, okay, we're not going to do any more than 30% white, and then we'll do 15%. And so you kind of come up with these quotas. Therefore, they end up saying, well, what happens if the 15% black is not qualified? They don't care, which ends up happening far too often. Or what happens if the,
Can you give me examples of cases?
yeah, air traffic control is actually a really good example. We now have all the documents that show that we went on a hiring spree to have more black air traffic controllers. There's a huge lawsuit about this, 15, 16, 17, where the standards for air traffic control dropped so dramatically, and you're kind of seeing some of the effects of that potentially. And again, it's in almost every single corporate practice, every single college institution. But it just kind of comes down to more of a moral argument that I have, which is that if you have something based on merit, I don't care if it's all black, all Asian, all white. It's an excellent group is what I want, not a diverse group. I care about excellence, not diversity. Because I do not believe diversity is a strength. I believe unity is a strength. I believe the pursuit of higher purposes is a strength. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do understand where you're coming from.
I mean,
the speechlessness is just.
I'm speechless, and I agree with him.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's masterful. It's masterful, and not only are his principles sound, but I've never met anybody who speaks more eloquently for one, and has mastered the use of language to prove his point. Because nobody would have used the term. I mean, unless they were morphing it into their own context, but nobody would have used the term of quote unquote unity as opposed to unity, as opposed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, yeah.
No, you're right. And another thing, what I like about that argument is he's talking about merit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't just have you here because you were white or blind. I had you here because you're also an expert in politics. That's why I had you here. And I know that's what you're good at. Among other things. Why do I have you on football streams? Because you and Oscar are great at football. I don't have Oscar on because he's Latino. I don't have Marvin on because he's black. I don't have Tyler on because he's white. I have Tyler, you, Marvin, and Oscar on, and Duncan, even though he's white, because he's also white. Because you guys know sports like the back of your hand, and you know.
And you also have Oscar on because you also have Oscar on because you want to tap into the demographic that likes Toy Story because he looks like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, he does. Oscar looks like if Woody, the toy Woody, underwent a sex
transition.
Hold on.
Oh God. I can't even.
Yeah. So I Oscar looks like Woody sexually transitioned.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he looks like Mr. Potato Head had a sex change.
He looks like Mr. Potato Head became Cat in the Hat.
And Thing 1 and Thing 2 came along too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not watching, but yeah. That DEI thing, I mean, it's all about merit. And I think what Democrats and liberals did was BlackRock came up with all these diversity bullshit and pronouns. And what I told you yesterday is amazing. It's amazing how these liberals, and I think I told my dad, it's amazing how these liberals rail against corporations and they're the problem and they're this, they're that. We should go against them.
But they can't be introspective and look internally.
Right. But BlackRock came up with all this bullshit. And they're going with it. Isn't that hypocritical? And I think we should hire on merit. We should hire on excellence.
And by the way,
best job that'll make me money, then get your ass over here. Oh, you're white and you're Hispanic? I don't give a fuck. Can you do the job?
Well, and this is not a new idea, by the way. You look all the way back at the Qin dynasty, and it was Confucius who was one of the first people who decided that merit should be the chief decision to make. The chief caveat when it comes to like society, not just jobs, but society in general.
Right.
I'm getting all historical on you guys, not just U.S. history. I'm going all civilizational history on you.
All right, let's talk about abortion.
Oh, yes,
this
it is murder. Thank you. It is murder, ladies and gentlemen. It is.
I'm gonna agree and disagree because there's parts I agree with on the pro-life movement and things I disagree with.
If it's about rape, give them up for adoption. Still give them a chance at life.
And that's also less than 1% of all abortions.
Exactly. Yes.
So rape or incest is actually less than 1%.
It's different if you have an ectopic pregnancy. It's different if you know the baby's not going to survive and you want to save and the mother won't survive either unless you do it. That's a whole different thing. But
the laws are not. But the laws in Mississippi, Tennessee, and all them are not accounting for that. They're saying even if your life is in danger, we still want the baby to be born. So now I thought you were pro-life. Or if they say, hey, the baby's not even going to survive no matter what you do, then you're still going to have to carry the baby to term. So she's going to have a dead baby inside her for 9 months. And Texas and Tennessee and all those red states are making laws that say you have to carry it no matter what, if your life is in danger or not. If you die in childbirth, it doesn't matter.
But at the same time, I mean, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but I will say if you this is what I'm talking about in terms of cost benefit, because if you believe that the benefit of sexual pleasure is worth the cost of what goes on there, then why should you be having sex?
It's a Christian way of looking at it. Now, this woman, this is going to deal with consent. Let's take a look.
To ask you what you as a male, just like would guess you are a male, think you have the right to speak up and
I guess you are a man. Okay.
and tell women what to do with their body.
Are men allowed to have opinions on moral topics?
Yeah, you are, of course, allowed to have opinions, but it's a really controversial opinion to tell a woman what to do with their body. You are a man, and it's not your field today.
So if it's not your DNA, why is it your choice?
Because it's my body.
It happens to be temporarily in your body, but is it your being?
Yeah.
It is. Didn't the woman make a choice to have sex and then she should carry the responsibility that comes with it?
I think there are two people who should carry the responsibility, not only the
Okay, wait, hold on. So then shouldn't a man be able to say, you can't have an abortion without my consent? I thought you said it was just a woman's issue.
I did a video on this, and what I just love that. What I said in that video were a couple things that I love how she says, well, it takes two, but I also don't want your consent, but I'll also divorce you and take all your assets, take 90% of your assets. You have to pay my health care, the kids' health care, spousal support, the house mortgage, give me your cars, everything, and you don't get to see your kids but 10% of the time. And even if the guy doesn't want the baby, you still charge him with child support. So there's no consent there. And also the second thing I'll talk about is I like how it was my body, my choice, but when there was a fucking vaccine that was not tested and whatever that they lied about herd immunity, they lied about monoclonal antibodies, they lied about the vaccine. They made us take it, and these same women were saying, I don't give a fuck if you're allergic to the vaccine. I don't care if you don't want to take it. You need to do it or we'll destroy you and we'll ostracise you from society. But these are the same
or
women
will not have sex with you, because I know there were some
pro-choice.
women that were like not there were some women that were saying that they were going to hold out on their husbands if they did not get the vaccine. My younger sister, when her job forced her to get the vaccine because they told her they'd fire her if she didn't.
Right, which now I think she can sue for that. Is she going to sue?
I think she might. Yeah, I got to double check with her. But
under this president, under this administration, you can now sue.
Oh yeah,
and I would be suing my work now. They might win and say, "Oh, but we kept her here." So no, but you also threatened me to get a bodily medication that could affect my body in so many ways. So the point is, like, the pro-choice argument goes out the window. You know?
Yeah.
It's just amazing the hypocrisy that the abortion people do have, and I support them, but it's like the illogical shit that they say.
Yep.
Let me see. I think I have another one. Oh, here we go.
You good, dude? Keep going.
The argument was so ridiculous that Charlie Kirk didn't even have to debate him. He broke it apart with a single, devastating question.
So tell me why you're against voter ID.
You have to start with those that have the most difficult time going and voting. For example, native tribal folks, you have poor and disenfranchised folks. When you include voter ID as well, you're adding an additional barrier to those individuals.
Should I have to show an ID to board an airplane?
You should have to show an ID, yes.
So why do we want to secure the identity of those on airplanes, but not those that cast precious votes? It's astonishing that in order to rent a movie, board an airplane, in order to even sometimes get a dinner reservation, you need to prove identification, but to vote, we don't care to secure identity, which I think is outrageous.
Boom.
Yeah, and I used to follow the media like, oh, it's racist, and then I couldn't come up with a reason why it was racist. Oh, it affects black people more. I don't see why 1965 Act said they can vote. Number one. Number two, slavery is abolished. Number three, you can drive to your nearest precinct. You can get the bus. Yep. You can carpool. You can
absentee ballots.
Absentee ballots. They have mail-in ballots unless Trump gets rid of it. Even though mail-in ballots actually helped Trump this time around. So again, and we could debate on that, but the point is like, okay, you're gonna make me have an ID to even get a dinner reservation with my wife. I've gone to, when I was in high school, I was 18 and I went on a band trip. We were on the beach, right? Okay. You know how they have those little restaurants and little shops and food boutiques and all that?
Yep.
I swear to you, Aaron, I swear on my grandpa, rest in peace. I don't want to get emotional on the stream. It's a politics stream. You don't do that. But they said, "Oh, do you have an ID?" I go, "For fries and a fucking burger?" Oh, well, because I was paying with a debit card. Oh, well, you have to because you're paying with a debit card. We want to make sure it's you. So that guy made me pull out my identification. I asked him, what would you do if these 16-year-olds come up and pay with a debit card? Well, not many of them do. I said, but my friend's 16 and she's paying with a debit card. Well, she'd have to show an ID too. I go, but most kids don't have a state ID like that. And he didn't have an answer. So I said, just show your student ID to my friends. But the fact that I had to show a student ID, the fact that we go to a bar and I want a glass of a Woodford whiskey or a Guinness or a Buffalo Trace, I have to just a margarita that's more fruity than a gay person, than my gay sibling, than the gayest gays. They're more fruity than alcoholic, and you still have to show an ID.
Yeah, pretty much.
You go to a hookah lounge, you got to show an ID. You go into a dispensary, you got to show that you're 21. How do you show you're 21? With an ID.
Yep.
We can't require a voter booth to ask, a polling location to ask for your ID.
It's dumb.
It's absolutely bizarrely stupid. Now, did you have any more thoughts or?
No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. Honestly, it's just, it's this, and this is also why, like, when you look at it from the immigration standpoint too, this is why he wanted to build the wall from the beginning, because we kept housing people who are not here legally, and they didn't want them to have to prove citizenship. As somebody who used to work for Lighthouse Works and had to fill out Medicaid applications for people who weren't legal, there's no reason why any of those avenues should have been in place.
And it was Florida. I'm surprised that Ron DeSantis didn't stop that.
I think because the Medicaid was through federal and not like the job that I was doing, it was like through federal and not necessarily state. Then it would have been hard for him to completely stop it.
Yeah. Wow. I wish he would bring down the prices of Florida, but he hasn't.
I wish the prices would go down everywhere. The housing market is such complete and utter garbage that the interest rates alone would put you in a poorhouse.
Oh, easy. Did you say whorehouse?
Poorhouse.
Oh, poor.
Goodness gracious, mine in the gutter much.
My goodness. Well, it's been in your gutter. Okay, you know.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
You literally just sound like Woody Woodpecker had a baby with a Looney Tune.
You look like the Three Musketeers had a baby with Pee Wee Herman. Can you see me? I can see you. Anyway, all right. I'm trying to decide which one of your videos because they're all kind of long. Where is it? The self-esteem speech is so long. I don't know.
Well, we just summarized that. Basically, he's saying that basically in that video, Charlie, because honestly, I'd rather you keep that for your personal records. But my point being is, Charlie Kirk was saying that there's a difference between like self-esteem. He one of the specific examples he mentioned that was really, really great was instead of telling someone you're fine just the way you are or you can be whatever you want to be, you should be saying something like, you have the potential that you have potential you haven't tapped into yet. Like
you could be more than what you are now.
Yeah, exactly. You could be more, and that's not an insult, by the way.
We do that with our daughters. Oh, sweetheart, you're just perfect. You're special. You're perfect, baby girl. When really, yeah, you want to say that to your daughter because you know it's your girl, but you also want to say, honey, I can't say that you're perfect only because in my heart you're perfect. But you also, like I do, you need to improve and you could be so much more better. Because that's why when all women say they're a 10. And that's like, no, so now you're saying you don't need to improve? Really?
Well, and now you're saying that only 1% of men in the world are worthy of being romantic partners with you.
But then what do you bring to the table? And that's exactly what Charlie Kirk.
And that's when they get offended. They get offended if you ask them what they bring to the table.
Well, and he talked about in this video that I watched it, the narcissism attached to DEI, attached to trans people. He talked about that they think being a woman is dressing in a costume and talking in a high voice, and they think that being a man is talking in a high voice. That's offensive to both. That's not what a woman is. A woman is.
How are women not more insulted by this? Like the fact that I've seen women online that could somehow condone this idea of being able to identify as a woman. Like womanhood in its bare bones should be celebrated. It should be respected. And when you condone something like that, it's not.
No, and that's why he talks about the family values in that church. It was a really good thing. All right, let's talk about what love is. This is another thing he talked about.
So before we play this, I just want to say that when we as individuals we don't appease those that identify as different genders. In reality, we are showing more love to them than anybody else could, because it's not being afraid to say what they should be saying. It's about loving God and allowing people and like basically educating people in how they should see themselves as God intended them to be, as God birthed them to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is what love is, because he is holding people accountable. There you go.
Yep, exactly. All right, here we go. Haven't seen this.
Me, I have a. True Christians love everyone. Would you say you believe in this sign?
Yes, but define love.
Define love? It's a respect. You respect someone enough to not judge them, to not hate them for what they're doing, no matter what it is.
Do you lie to people you love?
Do I lie to people I love? Often enough. And I don't lie about...
Should we, in the ideal, when you love somebody, should you lie to them?
Depends on the lie. Say you have a sibling and they have a dress on and it is just ugly, the ugliest thing you've ever seen. Are you going to tell them that dress is ugly, you need to change it, you horrible person?
Yes. In fact, I'll do it in a way that is filled with love, but I love my sister so much that if I feel if she's going to leave the house and be made fun of, I won't let her do that, because that's what love is all about. You see, love is not...
Are you going to make her feel ugly saying that?
Well, no, in fact...
How would you say it to make them not feel ugly?
I would say, listen, I care a lot about you. I think that maybe you should change that outfit, or let's see what other outfits you might have.
What if she's like, no, I spent a lot on this, I'm really proud, I think this looks great. Are you going to say that what she thinks look great doesn't look great to you?
I would say, look, you can obviously wear whatever you want, but I want to caution you that if you wear that dress out in public, it might not be received the way you think it would be received. I would be remiss not to say that if I actually loved my sister. I'd be remiss, because love is not affirmation. Love is not confirmation. Love is making sure that you care so much about the other that you're willing to challenge and point out flaws when you see them and have the courage to articulate it. That's what love is.
With me, I have a sign here. True Christians...
All right.
And honestly, that to me, there is no better way to illustrate it than that. What this man did, in my opinion, you can agree or disagree. I'm just going to point out what I feel. This proves to me more than anything else that he did not deserve what happened to him, because this man spoke about family values. This man went into what he knew was hostile territory, and that's why he had less security.
That was funny.
He had less security. And he debated people, but he did not debate them to be openly confrontational to them. He debated them because he had a love of what it means to be man, what it means to be woman. He had a love for God, making us the way we were supposed to be, and not falling into the trap of deluding people into appeasing what they thought they were versus what God made them. I challenge each and every person who is watching this, if you feel like you are a different sex, I'm not going to say gender, because gender goes into the idea of, oh, it's subjective. No, it's not. It's about what sex you are. You are a man, you are a woman. That is what God has made you to be.
Or not.
And yeah, well, no train seal. Anyway, Charlie Kirk understood all, and I'm not saying that you need to be a Republican or you need to be conservative, but it is interesting to me that the Republican agenda and the conservative agenda seem to be what is lining up most with godly principles at this time. That may change. You are what God made you to be. I pray that schools change their ways. I pray that parents will change their ways and realize what true family values are. Learn from Charlie Kirk. Learn that this man's message that he sent was something that needed to be said. And this is where and I can't believe I'm saying this is where real feminism comes into play, because real feminism is not some Me Too crap. It's not some emphasis and double standards. It is protecting femininity. It is protecting what it means to be a woman.
Yeah, and I would love to hear your big sister's thoughts on this. It would be nice to have her on stream. But the other thing I'll say is, he was talking about, do you lie to someone? Look, if your sister at the end of the day says I'm gonna go anyway, at least you did your part and told her, hey, baby girl, look, big sis, I love you more than anything, but don't wear that or don't do this, because you're trying to help them understand that it's just not gonna serve them right now. Do you lie to your kids? You love your kids about the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus? Sure. Oscar told me Santa Claus wasn't real, and I cried. No, I'm just kidding.
Then he started saying ho ho ho.
Yeah, he's a ho. Yeah, he's a ho ho ho. Anyway, but you lie to your kids about little things like that, right? Oh no, honey, we weren't just wrapping your PlayStation 5. We were wrapping up paperwork. Like, oh, okay, Dad. That's why I see the PS5 logo. Anyway, you're right. But when you love someone, you tell them what they need to know. If you guys are parents, you guys know you're an uncle. I'm an uncle. I've had to have conversations with my nephew. He's older. Side conversations. I will respect his privacy and I will keep them away from the public eye, and even from my parents. I will not tell them. I won't tell my big sister, but unless I thought it was an emergency. But the point is, you tell the people you love what they need to hear, and you hold yourselves accountable. Even as a partner, you tell your partner what you want immediately, because like, I want you to sign a prenup, I want you to stay home, I want you to do this, raise the kids, I don't want you to be a career, whatever it is that you want to say, or hey, I want a woman that makes more than me. You need to say what you want, which is stupid as a guy, but you need to say what you want and what you want from your man immediately, instead of 5 years down the line saying that. Now you've wasted your time and you've wasted their time. So
Stop
I think
playing
that was
games, guys. Stop playing games. You know what is causing the decline of the modern nuclear family?
Feminism.
Playing games.
Yeah, playing games, using
Playing games
feminism.
and not knowing what your role is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Now let's take a look at the dumbass bullshit ass stupidity crap that MSNBC, or as Trump rightly calls it, MSDNC said. I'm gonna pause it when it gets to the part, a couple parts. Here we go. Should play.
By the way, and for anybody who wants to know, also, I saw a headline that Trump is removing funding from PBS and NPR.
What?
Yeah, he's removing funding.
Yeah.
Taxpayer money is not going into PBS and NPR anymore.
Well, I don't understand why we have to pay for media organizations.
Well, it's because they're propagandized as well.
Well, so is Newsmax.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
But they're not funded by taxpayers.
Exactly. That's the point that Trump is making. He is signed an executive order called the Citizens Relief Tax Act, where taxpayer money is not going into things like into propagandized media outlets.
Now, can a court overturn that? I'm sure they can go, no, you can't do that.
With it being an executive order, it's not taken back to Congress. It's just signed into law.
Right, but can a court stop that and say no? Because they've stopped his other executive orders.
The Supreme Court could, and again, that goes into the whole Marbury versus Madison thing as far as judicial review is concerned.
But let's say for the meantime, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals or the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the court right below the Supreme Court, says, okay, no. You can't do that.
It will not matter. Only the Supreme Court would be able to.
No, but in the meantime, they could halt it until the Supreme Court says okay.
From what I understood, it's only the Supreme Court that could make that decision. From what I understand.
Well, no, because the judge that stopped the Guatemalan children from being deported, he wasn't a Supreme Court judge. He was just a federal judge. As long as it's a federal judge, he can stop it. That's a good conversation to have. But all right. Let's see if MSNBC's clips will play. This is the stupidity that MSNBC said about the Trump about the murder of Charlie Kirk, and I wonder why it won't play.
Was it that same video you sent me earlier that I told you about the YouTube account being terminated?
No, I edited this myself. Let me see. A little bit of technical difficulties.
That's all right.
Let me see if it'll. Whoa! What the fuck? Someone just hit my fucking window. Made me jump. I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
What's up with that?
No kidding, dude. I was like, "What the hell?"
You want the hell, do you? You can't handle the hell.
That shit scared. I jumped. That shit scared the shit out.
If it makes you feel any better, I had a scary moment like that earlier too, because my sister and I were riding down the road earlier, and
shooting like this.
Right, go ahead.
We were riding down the road, and basically, one of the tires on somebody's car blew, and it felt like a gunshot went off.
Right, you're like, what the fuck?
Freaking jumped out of my seat, dude.
All right, let me see if it'll let me share this. I don't know why. Let me see. Damn, I guess I'm gonna have to, because yeah, it's I know what it is. Hold on a second. I know what it is. It's because I played so many. How do I remove? It's because I've played more than 10 of these, so now it's
like imposing
It's
limitations
limiting.
on you. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I'll check the chat. All right, bro. I hope you're doing good at work. Oh, it's the.
What did he say?
He said it's the government. They hacked your PC.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Yeah, Master Rick, do you think Big Dick Tick Rick? Do you think the government is trying to stop me from reporting on Charlie Kirk? Let's see what he says in the chat. Aaron, you can pay attention in the chat as well.
I'm gonna look at it here in a second. Hold on.
Big Dick Tick Rick, do you think they're trying to keep me from reporting on MSDNC? Stopping me in my tracks.
Okay, it says it's been busy. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm monitoring. I got you, brother. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that.
All right, let me pull up the tab. I gotta find it. Let me see.
This has been fun so far, though. Like, I never realized how much of a passion speaker I could be.
Right. Where the hell? Okay, hold on. Did I send it to you?
He said they after you, bro. The blind trader.
The blind tree. That's right. They're after my money, huh? Yeah.
They're after your Lucky Charms.
Let me see.
He said they like how they said they like how the fuck this blind fuck know all our secrets.
I see things they don't see.
At the same time, who doesn't?
Yeah. Whoa. Damn, I have it here somewhere. Let me go into my history here then. Let me see.
Damn.
Where is it?
He said LOL. Oh man.
It's MSNBC's the comments that they made. Hold on, is it on Safari? Oh, I think I have it here. Hold on.
It might be. Shoot.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Here. They're trying to stop me from, but too bad. I figure shit out.
They're trying to give you some old-fashioned censorship.
Yeah, I know. they're doing what Mussolini said. They're coming against me.
That's not Benito.
All right. So let me go back to StreamYard here. Damn, they're trying to stop me in my tracks here.
They said they're gonna make you sleep with the fishes.
Is he still talking in the chat? I'm not looking.
Well, the last message he sent was LOL and then smiley face.
All right. So MSNBC or MSDNC, as
Yes.
Trump rightly calls it, made these absolutely stupid, bizarre comments.
Bro,
Let's watch the first one.
Your bro said they want your fish stick.
They want my metal cane because it's large.
And
it's not
charge.
6 inches; it's 52 inches.
Yummy.
I can hit spots they didn't even know was there, bro.
It's like the ultimate Swiffer sweeper.
I'll Lizzie McGuire their asses.
cartoon Sprite and all.
Buzz Lightyear it.
To infinity and beneath.
To infinity and behind. Oh!
To infinity and betrothed.
And fuck the government in the ass. Anyway. All right. So MSDNC made some stupid ass comments just minutes into the shooting. And let's look at the first one.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
What in the absolute fuck? In celebration? What the fuck?
People are idiots.
Why would you be shooting at Charlie Kirk if you're celebrating? If anyone's been to a New Year's Eve party,
No, you'd be shooting into the air. Like you'd be shooting
Right.
straight up in the air.
and why would you be laying on a roof with a long rifle with a supersonic round
With a
on a
30-aught
bolt-action rifle? What the fuck?
It was a hunting gun. It was a 30-odd motherfucking 6.
What the fuck? And keep an eye on the chat, by the way, if you can.
I am. I've got it open.
Okay.
In fact, he said they want. He commented twice. He said they want that metal pole. LOL. Your foldable tripod. And then he also said Borat voice. He goes, "Wowie, wowie."
Listen, Big Dick Tick Rick, I don't need to know what the noises you make in bed, okay? With your boyfriend.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's
That's nice. Nice. All right. So that's MSNBC's first comment. And this guy got fired, by the way, fucking rightly so.
As did that guy from the
We're
Panthers.
showing, by the way, our affiliate in Utah.
Right,
Director Cash, our thoughts are Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure.
He opines on almost every, quite young as an own.
The Doge.
His group has brought in tons and tons of money.
Because
now listen to this.
I've ridden along with since 2016 and built up a massive brand of his own. His group has brought in tons and tons of money.
All right. Now, this is the second stupid fucking comment.
Because as we were just talking about a moment ago with Alan, after one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as a justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. The carjacking situation, he used that. And I know it's hard to predict the future, Mark, but you can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
I must admit, I'm at a loss to guess as to what happens next. But Kirk.
Wow.
Justification my needing to be surgically repaired ass.
We do not condone the medical release. We are trying to attain to HIPAA rules. Aaron is not. I guess it's personal stuff. We just want people to know that our legal department does not condone this, and if he wants to release his own personal info, that is on him. Anyway, yeah. No.
Okay, no, but this is my point though. Okay. A man walks into a government building, douses somebody in gasoline, then sets him on fire. And you want to call that an ulterior motive by Trump, thinking that instead of trying to protect somebody, he's just trying to save face. No, I don't agree with it. And if you do, you're demented.
Yeah, and it's just this whole thing of, oh, well, he's going to start something now. Why? One gunman? Oh, just because it happened to some Doge employees? It happened to multiple employees. It'd be different. I think her argument would be correct if there were like 10 conservatives that got murdered on Wednesday, but that's not what happened. Just absolute stupidity, how they can't just talk about the shooting. Let's hear it.
Send words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the that
I must admit, I'm at a loss to guess as to what happens next. But Kirk
then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful action.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. A massive manhunt continues tonight for the
in which pretty quickly monitoring want to use
as an activist
to Washington D.C. to
actions to take place,
Matt.
and that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Turning Point USA is confirmed.
All right, so what he's saying there is because Charlie Kirk said what he said, he deserves it.
No,
that's what I take away from
no.
that. Do you think that?
I mean, that's what I agree with. That's what he's saying. That I think he's justifying any. I think it goes deeper than that because I think he's justifying any crimes whatsoever. Saying, "Oh, if you're gonna like, it's like the old phrase of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me."
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea that words justify violent criminal action. No, they do not.
They don't. Damn, I can't share this TikTok. It's basically this teacher that was saying that the kids started celebrating when Charlie Kirk passed away.
I said that to you actually.
Right, but I can't share it now because it's limiting me. But that the teacher said, "Well, that's okay that you celebrate that. It's fine. He was a bad guy."
I mean,
and as a teacher, you shouldn't be saying that death is okay. And the reason I say that, Aaron, is the following: if it was a Democrat, they wouldn't be saying, "Well, be careful what you say, Democrat."
Yep, no, it's true.
They wouldn't be saying that. They would be saying, "Hey, this is not fair. Just because he had his beliefs, but just because it's a Republican, also now Republicans need to be careful." What if this was AOC or Bernie Sanders or Kyle Kalinske or Jimmy Dore or what's his name, David Dole from the Rational National? What about Sam Sadis? I think it's Sam Sater. What about Emma Vigeland? How about the Young Turks? How about any of them go do a public event? Should they now be careful with what they say because now Republicans should go and murder them? You see the absolute hypocrisy and stupidity?
My point is to say this. I would not be surprised. I'm not saying I condone any of this because I don't wish death on anybody. But the way both sides are at war with each other, I would not be surprised if one day it is them. I'm not saying I want it. I'm not saying I condone it.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is,
Yep.
we as a society, because we are so divided and we can't find common ground, we are at a point where we're going to have a civil war basically between the Republicans and Democrats. And it is going to completely undermine what the idea of democracy truly is.
Right, it's gonna make us look even worse. But watch when the two Democratic lawmakers were shot, I didn't agree with that in their speech. Come on, they also didn't have a chance to defend themselves. And guess what? Everyone on the right said that's absolutely stupid. Why the fuck are we killing someone? And the Democrats were, oh my God, we're so sad. They weren't saying any of this bullshit. They were criticizing the Republican president for not calling the governor to show his sympathy. First off, the president's got other shit to do. He didn't call the governor. Oh, boo-hoo. He could send a letter or send an aide to call the governor. But seriously? Then they complained. But now, fucking liberals. You know what? Look, there are some very good Democrats in this world. There are. I've got good friends who are Democrats and don't agree with any of this shit.
See, I think if you lean more towards independent, that's the way to go. My older sister, she was telling me about this today, and she said, the one thing that she said that I completely agree with, and she said, let your morals guide you.
Yeah. And let your critical think, let your logic guide you. Because all these people celebrating, if it was the other way around, they would be whining, bitching, and moaning. And crying. So that is the end of our stream. We just want to say I could have shared the other one of Vivek Ramaswamy talking about how we need to talk more and engage more and all that, and the media was like, oh yeah, we should, even though the media is the cause of all this. Point is, thank you guys for go ahead.
This is what I want to do for maybe 5-10. I can't really do a bell salute because I don't have any bells, but this is what I want to do. I want us to hold a moment of silence because they were in legislative offices trying to hold a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, and the Democrats would not allow them to do so. So this is what I want to do. I want to take maybe 5-10 seconds and just nothing. We just have a moment of silence for the man who spoke his beliefs and paid for it. In the name of Charlie Kirk, we end this stream with a moment of silence.
And before we get to the moment of silence, I just want to say thank you to you, Charlie Kirk. Thank you for being a hero of mine. I didn't agree with absolutely everything you said, but the majority of it I did. And you, or maybe not a majority, but a good 50%. And you helped me become a better debater, a better person. You've introduced logic to me. I love the way you debated. I hope to be like you one day. You could have been president or some kind of office, in some kind of office. You were a hero to so many of us. I know Master Rick as well thought of you as a hero. And I love you, Charlie Kirk. Thank you for everything you did for us. And you did not deserve what happened to you, but at least you're with Jesus now. And he's saying thank you. You did
Well done, thy good and faithful servant.
Yep. And thank you for being my hero. I know he's Aaron's hero too. So we will not ask you to subscribe or anything. I don't do that on the politics channel, but especially because we should do a 30 seconds of 30 seconds of silence for Charlie Kirk. And we send love and prayers and our thoughts to Erica and the 2 children. Thanks for watching. We love you, Charlie.